I know you've heard about anxiety probably from multiple people from multiple different sources. But right now, in this time of COVID-19, I think everybody's anxiety is a little higher than normal. Now, some of you might struggle with anxiety on a regular basis. There are going to be some of you that also, this anxiety, this thing that's rising up in you that you've never felt before, this is new and it's different. And I just want to touch on some things about anxiety and how to help yourself get through the anxiety that you might be facing. So this is a really uncertain time for everybody. It's also really scary. We have no clue really what's going on. There's people that are struggling with health issues, then we have people who are worried about getting sick, and that can produce a lot of anxiety in all of us. Worried about ourselves, worried about our family, maybe worried about our friends, maybe our jobs and what's going on there too. So I just want to give you guys some tips of how to manage the anxiety that you might be feeling during this really difficult time. One thing that I suggest doing is taking a step back from social media. Like, the truth is social media can have a lot of positive things on it, but right now in this time, it's probably a lot more negative than it is positive. So you have to make that decision for yourself. And that might start with the intentions of the day. So when you wake up, it might be, am I going to allow myself to get on social media today? Am I going to allow myself to read those articles and people's comments that they're putting about COVID-19? And if your answer is yes, you're going to allow yourself to do that. You have to be in the right frame of mind to know this is not really about me. I am safe in my house. I am taking care of myself and the people that I can take care of, and just read them and think of it as just a little grain of salt instead of thinking about this is my world right now in my house, because the reality is it's not. It's things that usually are getting blown out of proportion. The second thing that I want to talk about is if you are going to look at and read articles about COVID-19, is I strongly encourage you to do so on trustworthy sites, either websites or those articles you're reading on social media. Are they coming from a trustworthy source? Or are they just coming from somebody who wrote an article? Because that can make a really big difference. So where are you getting your information? You just might need to question that to help make more of an informed decision of how you're going to let that affect your anxiety. The third thing is think about things that you can control. So, what can you control in your house, in your workplace, if you're still going outside of your house to go to work? What can you control? So you can control washing your hands. You can control, I'm going to stay home. You know what? I'm going to order my groceries. I'm going to go and I'm going to pick them up, and I'm not going to actually go into the stores because you're keeping yourself safe. Also avoiding crowds. So if you do have to go out, not being in crowds that are over 10 people, those are all things that you can control. Some things to help control your anxiety naturally is making sure that you're getting enough sleep. Are you getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night? How are you eating? Because I know for many of us, myself, I noticed that I was having some anxiety because of this, because I have children who I was trying to keep safe, and I started eating things that I would never typically eat, like bags of chips. I'd sit there and eat an entire bag of chips. And I just really had to think, why am I doing that? My anxiety is starting to get out of control. So watching what you're eating and why are you eating it? So questioning that habit really helps. And then the last thing, I know people talk about it all the time, but it's exercise. So even if you can get out and walk down the street, you're still avoiding people. If you notice that there's a lot of people out that day, maybe just make the decision to stay inside and wait until the next day. Or even sitting in your backyard, if you have a backyard, or if you have a patio that you can sit on, having some sunlight on your face will really change how much anxiety you're experiencing. So I hope that these things help. And if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to Arukah or any of our other providers.